So I added this slide. I added this slide to the back of the PowerPoint that we started with yesterday. When I say yesterday, I mean Thursday. Thursday was the cantilevers versus V-brakes example of my bike. And I wish I had left it up on the board. It was over there behind Rick, and I erased the board today. But it's in the videos if you want to see it. Both that one and the one you just did are examples of looking for a difference between two population averages. You're trying to see if there is a difference between two averages in a population that you can't access. So for the center, you pull the sample averages, subtract them, look at the difference, and then form the margin of error. I didn't bother putting the margin of error formula up on this PowerPoint. If you ever need it, Google it. It's horrific. If you don't want to Google it, look at my spreadsheet. I coded it into the spreadsheet. Nobody does them by hand for very, very good reasons. They're hellacious computations. But nobody's ever going to ask you to compute it by hand. It's ridiculous. If they do, they're asking you to do an antiquated one that nobody uses anymore. So if you ever do need the margin of error, just Google it, or just ask me, better yet, email me, and I'll send it to you. I'll write it out in the formula form for you and send it to you. I wish that on no one at all. So anyway, but the margin of error needs to be applied to the sample statistics, just like always. Just like always. You take your sample difference, subtract the margin, you take your sample difference, add the margin, and you're hoping with 95% confidence that the parameter you're looking for is in between. Hopefully that looks familiar. It should, because that looks like everything else we've been talking about so far, and it's everything else we will be talking about so far, it looks like that. The last example I want to look at is what happens when you don't have measured data, but you instead have counted data. That's it. Because if you think about it, on your exam, you only had one type of interval. I gave you the proportions. Somebody out of somebody, somebody out of somebody. Proportion counts. Okay, since then, we've added to that measured data. Speeds on College Way, weights of a burrito, things like that. Okay, continuous data. So averages are still continuous, but what if you have proportions? So that's what I want to start with now, is I want to look at an article I read, and I think it applies to us pretty well. And it goes back to what I was saying